This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
All right, well, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the afternoon show presented by ESEN. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez and Jay McLovin. How's it going, guys?
Going well, going good.
I am doing well. It's a beautiful sunny day out here in the beautiful Houston area.
We had a good weekend, but just a little touch of rain and a little cool, but not too bad, about 59 degrees, so it's not terrible. Well, guys, let's get started right into it. The NBA playoffs start tonight. We got the Minnesota Timberwolves at 8:30 p.m. at the OKC Thunder. Let's get our thoughts there on what we think is going to happen. Jay, what do you think this series is going to be, and who do you think is going to win it?
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, and some people say that it's not going to be a track meet going up and down the court, that the defenses are going to slow each other down in this Minnesota OKC get up. And I'm not saying that there's not going to be some slower parts of the game where you got some half court sets and things like that. But I got to tell you, I think quite the opposite. I think this is going to be a very fast-paced game between both. And I think, Gobert versus Holmgren is going to be a cool matchup to watch in terms of their defensiveness and rebounding. But really, the hidden star for me is DiVincenzo. I want to see what this guy's doing. He's so quiet, and you don't almost really even know he's there. But when you look at his stat sheet, the guy is just an incredible leader on that Minnesota Timberwolves team. I expect to see a lot of three-point shots. I really do. I expect to see a lot of fouls. I do expect there to be some good points in the paint on both sides of the equation, because I think SGA is going to want to go to the paint. And I think Anthony Edwards is going to want to go to the paint. So it's going to be interesting. I think there's a lot of role players on both sides of the equation, like a DiVincenzo or whatever, that's going to need to step up to compete at this level, because these two teams, man, they're very, similar to a lot of the things that they do. So I expect to see a high octane, high energy, high rebound, lots of fouls. I think a lot of chippiness. I think it's going to be freaking amazing. But I really think that DiVincenzo versus Alex Caruso is going to be a hell of a matchup to watch. And Alex Caruso really performs his best when the lights are at its brightest. So I expect to see a really good game out of Caruso. I expect to see a really good game out of DiVincenzo. Everybody's going to talk about, the Goberts, the Holmgrens are going to talk about SGAs and Ant-Man. But I think it's the DiVincenzo versus Alex Caruso matchup that most intrigues me.
Who do you think wins the series?
Honestly, I really have a strong feeling in Minnesota. I just think as good as OKC has been, I just feel like this is the year of Ant-Man. And I'm not even an Ant-Man fan, but I feel like this is his year in the Western Conference. I would not be surprised. Well, I would be surprised. I really like the way Indiana's playing, but could you imagine if it was New York versus Minnesota, the amount of Villanova players that are on both of those teams? It's almost like watching a battle of Villanova out there. It's crazy. But we could talk about the Pacers Knicks another time. Right now I know we're talking specifically this specific game. I think Minnesota is going to take this series. I think it goes maybe 7. I can see it even going in 6. But I think Minnesota, and I think the key matchup for me, like I said, is going to be the Alex Caruso versus DiVincenzo. I think that's really the biggest matchup to see how that pans out.
I think it should be a pretty good series. I think the key for me, at least for the Timberwolves, I think Julius Randle's got to continue to play well. He's got to have big games. If he falls short, I think they're going to fall short. I think Timberwolves want a little bit of a slower pace. I'm going to go with the Thunder in 6. I just think the Thunder's got a little bit too much. defense and offense for Minnesota. Now we'll see. I think if I remember right, they played last year in the conference finals.
Yeah.
And of course OKC won then. I just don't know if Timberwolves will have enough, but I think the key for them to have enough is Julius Randle. Chris,
Yeah, I gotta tell you the one thing before Chris, the one thing I want to say super quick, and I meant to say it earlier, I forgot. I really feel like, we were talking about who won that trade between New York and Minnesota. And the reason why I feel like they both have won that trade is when I look at Karl-Anthony Towns and how he fits that New York team, he fits in super well, better than I think he did in Minnesota. And when I look at Julius Randle, it's almost like, he really fits in this system. He's really flourishing. It's almost a different version of Julius Randle. And I think he just fits Minnesota and their style of play much better than New York. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead, Gaza. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I think this is going to come down to this series is going to be can Anthony Edwards going to have a good shooting series? If he don't shoot the ball well this series, I think Minnesota's in trouble, and I think it's going to be pace of play. Minnesota is going to want to slow the pace of the play way down. If you look at these two teams during the regular season, OKC was 6th in the NBA at the 6th fastest pace of play in the NBA. Minnesota Timberwolves were 24th out of 30th on their pace of play. So these two teams play a little bit of different style. Minnesota is going to want to play more of a half court, slow the game down style. OKC is fine with playing a fast pace. So I think for Minnesota to be able to win this series, they got to slow these games down. And then Anthony Edwards will have to shoot the ball pretty efficient. He's not going to be able to have a night where he has 27 points, but it took him 35 shots to get 27 points. I mean, I think he's going to have to shoot the ball efficiently. I think it's going to go 6 or 7 games. Well, I'm going to go with OKC. I think they're just they have a little more depth, and too many times the Timberwolves have stretches where they just struggle to score.
Yeah,
and I think that could really hurt them this series against the Thunder. But I think it'll be a good series. But I'm gonna go with the Thunder. I'm gonna say probably 6.
I'm going with 6. The other thing too, I think the Timberwolves to have a chance, they need to control the boards. They need to out rebound OKC by maybe 6, 8, 10 rebounds a game. I think they got to control the boards for them to really have a chance.
Well, and I think for the Timberwolves, Gobert has to play good defensively because they're OKC is going to get that where they put SGA in front of him. And he's going to have to do a good job of trying to stay in front of SGA and not letting him just get to the rim. Because I think you're going to see OKC try to exploit that matchup as much as they can, especially if Gobert doesn't step up to the challenge.
Well, and the one thing for me is I mean, let's be honest. Gobert should have no problems boxing out for the rebound against Holmgren. I mean, he outweighs him by a lot. I definitely agree with you. He's going to have to step, and Gobert is known for his defense. So he's going to have to continue to play that good defense. He's going to have to control, like you said, the rebounds inside that paint area, which I think all of those things do, in all honesty. But you're right. I mean, it's gonna. I think it goes 6. I know you guys got OKC. I'm gonna ride with Ant-Man on this one though. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna ride with Ant-Man on this one. But I think it's gonna be a hell of a good game though, or series, I should say.
Yeah, I think it could be. And the Pacers made it to the conference finals last year, but it was against Boston, right? So they beat the Knicks.
We beat the Knicks in the
second
round last year.
Okay. I was going to say for a minute, I was thinking it was a
last year
matchup.
Last year we beat the Bucks first round, Knicks second round, and we
lost to Boston.
Lost to Boston Eastern Conference Final.
Real quick,
I know Chris. I know you guys really see the disrespect that gets thrown towards the Pacers way, which is very true. It's almost like when you look at ESPN, I feel like they're throwing some massive shade on Minnesota. I mean, it's like, what is it, 69% favorites for OKC versus 30% for Minnesota. And I know it's in OKC, and maybe that's why they're so heavily favored. But damn, 69-30. I mean, that's a huge gap.
Well, about everybody on ESPN's picking the Knicks to win the series over the Pacers. And now tomorrow's game, I think they're 52% favorite according to ESPN. The Knicks are. So Indiana's getting a little bit of love on that. Not huge underdog. I think they're -4, if I remember what I seen.
That's what it was yesterday. I haven't looked at
I think it was -4, and then I think I want to say Minnesota was almost -8, if I remember correct.
I mean, I understand that they should be favored, but be favored by that much? I thought that was a little skewed. I don't know. I don't know. To me, that's just so skewed. I mean, I expect OKC to be favored, but that's a big gap that they gave them.
Yeah.
Damn, Joe, that's the first time me and you went against each other. You're picking the Thunder in 6 with those other guys. Damn, Joe, it's the first time me and you have ever been at odds, and we're Cowboys fans. What's wrong with you?
Welcome to the dark side, Joe.
I don't think there's ever been a time where me and Joe have ever not picked kind of similar to the same teams, and this is the first time I think we've been at odds. Interesting. Same thing with you, Tony. Me and you've kind of been on alignment there for a little while, and then you gotta kind of switch it up a little bit.
On FanDuel for tonight's game, so Vegas odds basically they have the Thunder at -295 favorites.
Oh wow!
And they have this on the spread at 7.5.
7.5. Okay.
Pacers is now +4.5.
+4.5. Okay.
They're 4.5 point underdogs. +162 on the money line.
Real quick, we'll talk more about the Pacers and stuff tomorrow, but just wanted to get you guys' who do you think's going to win the series and how many games? So I'll give mine. I'm saying the Pacers. Pacers in 7. Oh, change that. We'd have to beat New York at New York. I'm gonna take Pacers in 6. Excuse me.
Yeah. Oh, that's a hard one. What do you got, Gonzo? I know you got Pacers, but what are you doing?
We'll go back. I'm gonna say Pacers and I really feel like Pacers are gonna win this series in 5, but I'm gonna say Pacers in 6 is what I'm gonna go with. But I think this series is gonna be a lot like the first 2 series the Pacers have had. I think we're gonna at least win one in New York, maybe both of them, and then we come back to Indiana and we're gonna win. So I can see us winning in 5, but I'm gonna go with Pacers in 6.
Yeah. I really like what Jalen Brunson has done with this Knicks team. I mean, this guy is playing at such a level. I mean, he's right. Him and Halliburton, I mean, it's almost like they cancel each other out. They both play so well and so talented, right? I mean, rebounding, assisting, points, field goal percentages. I mean, these guys are, you can tell these are the heart and soul of your teams. So that's why you almost got to look at the external factors. You got Karl Anthony Towns, Miles Turner. But then you got Mathurin off the bench. He's playing pretty well. I really like what this Pacers team has done this year. I think they've been through some adversities. I am going to tell you, I think you had a little bit of an easy go of it with the Cavaliers, but I'm not telling you to take it with disrespect or show any kind of disrespect towards the Pacers. I think you had a little bit easy against them. And I got to tell you, man, what New York did against Boston in Boston to take the first 2 games there, that says a lot. But at the end of the day, I do think the Pacers are going to take this series. I do. I really do believe the Pacers are going to take this series, but I do think it goes 7. I absolutely think it goes 7, and I would not be surprised if we see some overtime games in this series. That's how close I think it's going to be. I don't think we're going to see blowouts. I can't foresee blowouts. And barring injuries, I don't see blowouts. I see very close physical games. But I am going to give the edge to the Pacers, and I think it's going to be a close one, though. I think it goes 7, and that's the overtime games.
One big key, real quick, Chris. One big key, I think, is the Pacers play so many players, and the Knicks don't. Can we wear out the Knicks?
Exactly. That's another thing to consider.
That could be a big key.
I think everybody wants to talk about these injuries for these other teams. I think some of it is.
I've heard that talked about.
The pace of play by the Pacers.
I've heard that.
I think they wear these guys out, and these guys are getting hurt. It happened last year in the playoffs with the Knicks. Their players go down. Now you had some players this year getting hurt when they get in a deep series with the Pacers. I think there's something to the style of the Pacers play, And the other thing, here's one. So Jay, just so I make sure I heard you right. So you think the Pacers had it easy with the Cavs, which I get where you're going, but you don't think the Knicks had it easy with the Celtics with Jason Tatum getting hurt and Porzingis not being sick and not even hardly playing? You don't think the Knicks had it easy at all in that series?
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from on that. I think even Jaylen Brown, I think at this point now has come down. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's got an MCL sprain. I think is what they diagnosed him with when the series was over. They said he had a partial MCL tear or a sprain or something of that nature. So yeah, I mean, you could say Boston had issues. Porzingis clearly didn't show up. We all know Porzingis didn't show up. Tatum obviously went down in that fourth quarter. But even though he went down the fourth quarter, you guys were, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you guys were, or New York was beating them when he went down with 42 points. I don't think that they were up.
There was games after that, though. There was games after that where they didn't have Tatum.
No, I understand. Yeah. I mean, if you want to say that they lost some heart, yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I can't remember.
All I'm saying is if people are going to say the Pacers had it easy because the Cavs were hurt, you got to say the Knicks had it easy because the Celtics was hurt. It has to be both ways. The Celtics had bigger injuries than what the Cavs did. At least all the Cavs players were playing.
Well, on our network, Frankie thought that Boston was going to destroy the Knicks, and the reason was because Porzingis didn't
even show up.
Anything.
That's why
Boston didn't look the same. Porzingis is a big factor. That's why Boston didn't look the same. Porzingis is a big factor.
Yeah, and this, Frank, hey, I'm glad you said that, Frank, because I was thinking, I thought they had won one more game, and they did. Game 6. Now they lost game 7. So I mean, it's not like New York was still. I mean, Boston was still in it. I mean, they were still. Look, even without Tatum, Boston is still a pretty elite team. I mean, they got a lot of damn good players. I understand Porzingis didn't show up, and that's on him. I still think he's a good player. He just didn't show up.
All I'm saying is the Pacers didn't have.
But I don't think it's a matter. I don't think it's a matter of that side of the equation, though, Gonzo. What I'm saying is, I mean, I'm just saying on the Pacers side against the Cavs. I'm not saying anything about New York or that series or how they got there, this side or the other. I'm just saying on your specific side, there were injuries there.
There was bigger injuries for the Celtics than the Cavs had, Jay. The Celtics had.
I'm not saying that New York. Right.
So what I'm saying is,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm giving you.
If you're going to try to say that the Pacers had it easy, the Knicks had it easier than the Pacers. The Celtics they lost their best player in Tatum.
It would have appeared to be easier had they lost game 7 and 6. Like if New York would have lost game 6 and came back and won it in 7, it would look easier. Or next, am I saying that right? I'm probably saying that wrong.
That would make it look more difficult.
No, I'm saying I apologize. That's what I'm saying. I think I'm saying that wrong. I'm not saying that the New York Knicks had the hardest of things, right? Porzingis didn't show up. I get that.
Here's what you're saying. You're saying since the Knicks didn't do what the Pacers did and close it out in 5, since they had to go back home and close it out in 6, you're saying the Pacers had it easier. But if the Knicks would have done the same thing, then they would have had it
harder. Obviously, I think the Knicks had it harder because they went 7 games. But I am saying, I guess it all comes down to this, guys. At the end of the day, At the end of the day, I gotta be honest with you guys. I think the best matchup, and I think the matchup everybody wants to see is going to be Pacers versus OKC. And I think it goes to your point.
Knicks and Celtics only went 6 games.
Didn't it go 7?
Nope. Only one with 7 was Thunder Nuggets.
Okay, then I apologize. I thought it did go 7. Anyway, okay, I apologize.
I said the only difference is we closed it out in 5 and New York.
And they closed it out in 6. Yeah, I got you. I don't know. I think it's going to be a good matchup. I think if it's Indianapolis versus OKC, it's going to be a good matchup because you're going to have 2 running gun styles. Like you said, to your point, they couldn't hang with the style of play of the pace. That's why it led to so many injuries. Clearly, OKC does like to play a fast-paced game, and I think that would match up with your rhythm.
All right. I think it'd be a great series.
I think we got a better and this is my opinion, and I could be totally wrong. I think Indiana's got a better chance against OKC than the Knicks do, again, because of the Knicks bench. That's just my opinion.
I will say this too, Gonzo. I will say this too. and I don't think you're going to dispute what I'm about to say. I will say this very, very clearly. A lot of people, and this is where the disrespect comes towards, I think, your team, what you're talking about, Gonzo. A lot of people right now feel like the East is incredibly weak compared to the West. That's just the way they feel. Minnesota, OKC, New York, Pacers. That's what a lot of people feel. I think that if the Pacers come out in the finals, handle business, beat the West, whether it be OKC or Minnesota, whoever they got to play, beats the West, I really do think then you would actually probably get the respect that you feel like you haven't gotten in the season. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah,
Well,
definitely.
they have to because we won the championship, so they have to give us the respect.
Nah, the Celtics won the championship. You didn't win it, and the Celtics, like you said, it's been fairly weak.
If we beat OKC in the finals, we win the championship, so they have to give us the respect.
I misunderstood what you said. I thought you were saying when Boston won the championship. Calm down, killer. Back her down a little bit. I see you get upset.
Did you just say?
No,
did you just say if the Pacers? Wait a minute. Didn't you just say if the Pacers went to the
no? But I'm saying is
won it, we get our respect.
No,
they have to give us our respect.
What I'm saying is, you're saying if they got the championship, they'd have to get the respect, and I understand that. I mean, but you can. How many times people get championships and still don't get respect? I can tell you right now, the Rockets didn't get it.
True.
When we won our championships, we didn't get that respect. We were still talking about Jordan, this, that, and the other. I think sometimes you can get the respect by saying you're the champions, but not get the respect. For example, here's what I'm going to say to you. Next year, let's say you get the championship this year. You go next year. They say, well, it's the Pacers. Yeah, they got the championship. It's the Pacers. I'm just saying. I think if you go against a team that, like right now, what I'm saying is the West is getting a lot of respect, right? They think we got the stronger teams in this playoffs, and the East has the weaker teams. So you guys come up against us, and now when I say us, I'm talking about the West, whether it be OKC or Minnesota, it doesn't matter. You get that championship. They're not going to just give you the respect because you're champions. They're going to give you the respect because you were the underdogs and you got the champions and you got the championship. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be more of a real respect than that fake artificial respect, because we all get fake respect, don't we? Give it sometimes. I mean, don't you hear people getting fake respect all the time? I hear in the media all the time. The media be like, they'll talk one way out this ear and then another way out this ear. I think you guys got a good chance. I guess what I'm getting at is I think you guys got a good chance to get the respect you're looking for this year because of the talent in the West. If you go out and roll the West, you're going to get that respect.
That's Frankie.
He said, go New York, go New York, go.
Oh, bandwagon jumping cruise.
If the Pacers win the title this year, they won't get the respect because of who was injured in the East. I hate to admit that, but it's true.
Who was injured in the East?
I think he's talking about Mobley, Hunter, and Garland, and then he's going to talk about Tatum and Brown's partial torn or partial sprained MCL.
The thing of it is, it may have changed things if Tatum would have. They had lost game. They had lost that game with 3-1. That game was over when Tatum got hurt there. Now definitely changed the series but they would have been down 3-1 whether Tatum finished that game or not. So they had him for the first 4 games and they were down 3-1. Let's just face it.
Right.
Boston choked most of that series going up to that, and that's what cost them the series. They choked games. I mean, they kept throwing up threes. It wasn't the fact that Tatum it didn't help that Tatum got hurt and didn't play game 5 and 6, but they lost that series by blowing games and shooting 2,000 threes. That's why Boston lost that. And they need to look at themselves, and the coaches need to look at themselves. Their game plan may have worked last year, but guess what, guys? It didn't work this year. And now you got a guy that's not going to play next year, and they've got all this salary. Boston's not going to be the same team next year. I mean, it may not be the same team for quite a few years. I mean, it's going to be different big changes in Boston.
He said, "Go Indiana, I hate New York pricks." I tell you what. I disagree a little bit with what Dustin's saying. I feel like if you go to OKC or you play Minnesota, if you get them in 5 games, 6 games, even if the games are thoroughly not close, like if you go in there and you manhandle the West, you can't. How do you not get respect? If you go in as a 7-game series and it's a hard-fought series, maybe there will still be people that won't respect you. That's just the way life is.
There's going to be people that's not going to respect no matter what. We could go in there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
No, as long as we get a championship, I don't care if it's a 7 or 4. I get I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I want to win a championship, but first step is to win the Eastern Conference Finals and make it to the championship. I'll be thrilled with that. So, and then we'll go from there. But the other thing real quick about Cleveland. Cleveland lost that series. I don't want to hear this crying shit. They lost because they were soft. They were the fucking soft team. Go listen to Cleveland's all the radio personalities in Cleveland about how fucking soft Cleveland was. That's why Cleveland lost. We were tougher. Yeah. We ran them out of the fucking building, and that's what happened to Cleveland. I don't want to hear about the fucking injuries. I watched every fucking game. Cleveland was soft, and that's why they lost. Now maybe they won't be soft next year, but they were soft. They've been soft for the last 3 years. And they say, well, they ran Bickerstaff out because Bickerstaff. The guy that got him fired was Mitchell, because Mitchell didn't want him bitching at him about doing stuff the right way and working harder. That's why Bickerstaff's no longer there. So they're soft, and that's why they got beat.
I think it's hard sometimes, though, for teams that necessarily haven't won have not won the championship. Even the Rockets, even though we got 2, we still don't really truly get the respect. I mean, we don't. When you look at other teams out there. San Antonio gets more respect than we do, and they were like damn near in the last place almost. I mean, I think there's just certain markets and certain teams, like you said, Tony, that we just don't get it. It just is what it is. If you're like a Lakers or if you're a Celtics or whatever, and all them championships, or the Bulls even to a certain degree with their championships, I feel like they get all the respect. And granted, it's deserved because they've won it a lot. We just haven't won it enough. Maybe that's the reason why. I don't know. Hell, maybe I wouldn't even be surprised. How much do you attribute the respect you're given by the media? In other words, do you think the media influences people and maybe shifts that respect off of them?
Oh, definitely, because the media is on so much now. Back compared, 20, 30 years ago, you didn't see that much, media. So media is right there in your face. To certain people, maybe brainwashing certain people. I mean, I don't mean brainwash, but you know what I mean. If you hear it enough,
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
I think a lot of it is you get all these guys in the sports media that don't watch the games. You know what I mean? They don't watch all the games, so they really haven't seen the pace. Like, they haven't seen some of these teams in the smaller markets play. Yep. So they don't know how. A lot of people in the national media didn't know how good the Pacers were, because the Pacers didn't play many primetime games this year. And these guys don't go back and watch all these the other games. So a lot of people didn't realize Pacers were the second hottest team in the NBA after December 6th, behind OKC. Yep. If you go by records from then to the end of the regular season, Pacers didn't have a good first half the year. Halliburton didn't play well, had a couple of injuries. They got healthy, and from the All-Star break on, Pacers played good basketball. That's how they got back up to that 4th seed. If they'd have played the whole season like they played, hell, we might have been a top 2 seed,
just like
top 3 seed. We have that kind of talent, but on the team, I really believe that. I love it. But I think with the national media, a lot of them, and not just the Pacers, they don't watch all the games, and they don't see a lot of these small market teams.
Yeah.
Play.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the playoffs, they really don't know how good these other teams are, because they haven't watched them play.
That's true. And you're right.
Just like Barkley called out, I think it was Perkins on ESPN, and said, when the Lakers made that trade and they went on
save the NBA,
they went on a 2-week run and to save the NBA. And he said he's a stupid idiot. That's exactly what Barkley said. The Lakers, he said Cleveland was playing good basketball. OKC was the ones playing good basketball, and you guys want to talk about the fucking Lakers. And he said it's ridiculous. Lakers played good for 2 fucking weeks. He said
look at Golden State. Jimmy Butler goes there, and they literally go on a 28-5 run. Talk about a hot team. I really do. I still feel like if Steph had not gotten hurt in that quarter and pulled that hamstring, I think that would have. I wonder if that series would have turned out the way it did. Or would it, at very least it would have been closer. But do you think if Steph doesn't go down, do you think that the Golden State would have taken them out? Or do you think Minnesota still would have taken that series?
I think Golden State would have won the series with Steph. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's easy to say.
That was a huge loss, wasn't it? I mean, that was a huge loss. When they lost Steph, that was huge. Because like Butler said, Butler really feeds off other stars. And he feeds hugely off of that, Oh, geez, what happened? Did I miss something? Am I putting this up? When it comes to the Pacers, they have the 4th or 5th most talented. Wow, how are they the best team? Because they play together as a unit. That is what makes them such a dangerous team.
I would say most people would say they're not probably the 4th or 5th because they're going to say that they don't have a star. A lot of people don't think Halliburton's a star. That's fine. I don't care if we got a fucking star. All I care is that we play team ball.
Oh no, I definitely think Halliburton is a star. I would definitely say he's a star.
Well, but what I'm saying is, ask Halliburton. Halliburton could care less about being a star. He's focused on playing team ball and winning games. He could care less if he scores 10 points or if he scores 25 points. He's not like a lot of the players in the NBA who wants to get his. He wants to win, and that is by any means necessary for them to win. And I mean, you can say that, but I'll take the Pacers and their 10 or 11 people that's playing coming off the bench, and then I would a bunch of other teams in the NBA. I'll take our team over the Lakers, who's got 2 big stars. I'll take that any day of the week.
Sometimes having superstars isn't always a good thing, because they don't play 100% selfish or selfless ball. A lot of them want the rock 24/7. I think Halliburton is a star. I don't think he necessarily has to have the ball all the time, and I think that's what makes your team good.
No, sometimes he's not. I bitch at him sometimes because he's not aggressive enough. There's sometimes it's like, dude, shoot the ball, because he'll get in the modes where he's looking to pass too much. But when he's being aggressive as well, looking to score and passing, dude is tough.
I think Halliburton. Yeah.
Why did they trade Halliburton? Why did he get traded to the Pacers? With Sacramento, right?
Yeah, but say he did come. Wasn't he part of the Sabonis trade?
Yes. But they did. Yeah. I mean, who else did they get? So they got Sabonis and somebody else.
I forget now off the top of my head.
Yeah, it definitely didn't turn out. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've always liked Sabonis. I think he's a pretty good player, but he's not what Halliburton is.
There's rumors that he might be. They're thinking about bringing him back, but I hope the Turner resigns.
Yeah, I hope Turner resigns too. Sorry, Frankie. Fuck you.
Now.
Yeah, I know he was. He's over here waiting, boys, and they're not gonna sign.
No, he's waiting for Gonzo to just rip a blood vessel and go crazy.
Okay, guys, you ready to do a little bit of NHL?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tonight we got the Florida Panthers.
I don't do nothing about the NHL, so I'm going to chill and listen to you guys.
Taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. The Panthers are favored in the series, even though that they don't have the home field advantage. Hurricanes do. Of course, Florida. To me, Florida's got to be favored because they're the ones that won it last year. So till somebody beats them. But we got Carolina tonight and against the Hurricanes, and then tomorrow we got the Edmonton Oilers at the Dallas Stars tomorrow night.
Real quick, and this the Panthers like 3rd year in a row being in the conference finals.
You might be correct, I believe.
I know for sure. I know it's a 2nd year in a row. I don't know if it's 3rd or not, but I know it's definitely the 2nd year in a row.
Because I think they've been in the finals the last 2 seasons, haven't they?
I think you might be right. But
we really started following hockey a little bit more about last year, and I know last year the Panthers were in there.
And I think they were the year. I think they were in the finals the year before, if I remember correctly.
I believe so. Hurricanes are really strong, but till somebody can beat the Panthers, I'm going with the Panthers to win this series. But I'm going to predict it's going to be Florida in 6. Is going to be my prediction on that. I think Florida definitely gets one game here in Carolina. Carolina is strong, but like I said, you gotta beat the champs, and Florida's the defending champs. What do you think, Jay?
Man, I really like Florida's goalie a lot, Bobrovsky. I like him a lot. I don't know it's going to be enough to hold off this Hurricanes team, given the fact that the Hurricanes literally just ran through the Capitals like it was not a problem, and Florida kind of took the Maple Leafs down to Game 7. So I don't know. I mean, when you do those big Game 7s like that takes a lot out of a team, And the fact that the Hurricanes kind of ran through, I think in 5, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, am I right? They had a lot more time to rest, prepare, and get ready for this series. I'm going Hurricanes, man. I think this is just their year right now for this conference. I think they're gonna make it to the finals. To be honest with you, so for tonight, I'm gonna go with Carolina getting the win tonight, and Florida taking the L.
I like Florida's experience, and they're a really good road team. I mean, they finished it out that Game 7, on the road. And I think it's that experience and stuff. That's why I think Florida is going to overcome the Hurricanes. But the Hurricanes are a very good team. Real quick, the Edmonton Oilers tomorrow against the Dallas Stars. This is tough because I really like the Oilers. But I tell you what, I like this. I like Dallas Stars goalie, and I'm gonna go with the Stars in 7. Even though I really like the Oilers. Oilers was in the finals last year against the Florida Panthers, so we could see the same as last year if the Oilers make it. But I'm predicting the Stars are going to take on the Panthers in the championship this year. So I'm gonna go with the Stars in 7.
Yeah, this is another. This is going to be such a good, strong series. I felt like number one, I thought if Dallas could beat Colorado, I felt like they were going to make it to the finals. They go against Winnipeg. They got a couple of hat tricks against Winnipeg. Ottinger is playing out of his freaking mind as a goalie. I know that Winnipeg was basically doubling the amount of shots on goal as to what Dallas was doing. The problem was Ottinger was just getting them all. I think he let one go here or there, but they've had a couple of shutouts and really took Winnipeg for everything that Winnipeg had. And I got to be honest with you, that series, the only thing I'm worried about is I hope that series didn't tax them too much, and that they'll still be fresh enough to go against this Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton, obviously, took out the Vegas Knights. They have 2 really good players. I forget their McDavid. Is it Tony McDavid or McDonald? Is it McDavid, something like that?
Yep,
I think is his name. And then you got the other guy. I cannot remember his name right offhand, but I'm pretty sure his name is one of them is McDavid. Is one of their. I hear his name all the time when it comes to goalies, so I know he's pretty good. McDavid, yeah, and then Ostrowski. That's the word I was looking. Man, I can't spell it. Dresalto. Fuck, I don't know. I can't pronounce his damn name. Look at this crap. Look, can you say that name? This way.
I'll pronounce it Trisante.
Okay, we're gonna roll with that. So Trisante and McDavid. Those are the 2 guys, right? But then when I look at the Stars, we got Granlund that had a hat trick. You got Rantanen that had 2 hat tricks. And then you got Hintz and Harley, which both are really good at getting the shots on goal. Now, Winnipeg has an extremely good defense, so it's not like Dallas had a lot of really good looks at the goal when they did score. So that's the only downside. Dallas is really going to have to work hard to get better shots on goal going against Edmonton. That's really the big thing in this series for me is them getting better shots on goal. But I'm going Dallas in this. Dallas has home field or home ice advantage, wherever you want to say it. They're at home, so I'm gonna say 6. I think we can get this in 6. I'm a little nervous about that prediction, but I'm gonna say 6. I think 6.
Yeah. For one, this is the 3rd year that Florida's been in the
Conference Finals.
Okay.
And you should have known that because 2 years ago they lost to the Vegas Knights in the final, and then they won it last year. So they're going for their third straight trip to the finals if they win this. And then both these games by the spread they have them real close for tonight.
Oh, it's going to be a tough series, I think.
They have the Hurricanes as a -125 favorite, and they have the Stars as a -126 favorites. So they,
Oh,
they
wow.
have both these games as being real close.
I think both series go 6 or 7. I think it's going to be real tough series, man. They're going
if
to
you go on the puck line, it's minus 1.5.
they're going to beat the hell out of each other. So I love playoff
I
hockey.
think the biggest thing for Carolina and the biggest thing for Dallas is you really need to take game one. And it really, I think this is really a bigger thing for Dallas than it is for Florida or the Hurricanes. I think Dallas, because Edmonton is such a strong team, that they've got to take game one and set the momentum going into this series if they want to have a good shot at it.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you guys want to talk a little?
Oh shit!
What are you doing, Chris?
I'm hitting buttons.
Okay, hitting buttons. Well, let's go into baseball a little bit.
I thought he was. I don't know.
Who was coming up?
Glenn was down there. Oh, there he is.
Okay, he's back. Crazy Glenn. Talk a little bit of baseball real quick. Real quick.
By the way,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I got the Stars and the Canes in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, I would venture to say that's what I would have as well. Stars and Hurricanes.
Baseball. I'm going till the Panthers lose. I got to go with the Panthers making it. I mean, I think Hurricanes are a good team, but I mean, a lot of experience. They're tough on the road. I'm going with Florida, and I am going with Dallas, and I'm going with Florida to win it again. Stars are going to choke just for Joe, for Jay, for Joe. Joe or Jay, either one, they're the same people.
See, here's a problem I have, real quick. Here's the problem I have. Before I tell you the problem I have, I do want to tell Big Glenn. I don't know when I could squeeze the money out of Melanie's tight hands, but when I get the money, no, don't worry about it. No, I hope she doesn't see this. I hope she doesn't see this podcast.
Yeah, I hope she don't see us either.
Yeah,
I'm going to text Mel.
No, don't do that.
Valerie?
Don't do that. I should never say an ex-wife's name on air. Melanie, if you see this, I've been drinking. Leave me alone. No, I've been drinking. I'm sober. No, it's just hey, Glenn, I do need you.
Man, that makes it worse.
I hate all of you. I hate every one of you. Hey, Glenn. I will say this. Hey, when the time is right, I'm going to get me a Dallas Stars Ottinger jersey. So that might be the next one I need you to get from me.
I'm just going
I am not sure if he does hockey. I just make kind of complicated, but I'll get back to you on that.
He said you don't know if he does hockey.
No, I tried to get one off of him for the D2 Mighty Ducks Team USA jersey, and I don't think it worked out too well. So I'll get back to you on that. Yeah,
that's fine. See what you can find out on that end of the stick. Secondly, I'm going to try to save my marriage. Thirdly,
you don't have to worry about Jay. He'll take his own stuff out eventually.
You know what I'm saying?
He'll cut his own throat.
Just let him go long enough. It always comes around to bite him in the ass. No, Tony, here's the problem I have with you, man. I literally just said that I think you guys are going to make it to the finals, right? And say you make it to the finals. And I even said to you that I was going to root for Indiana because I'd like to see Indiana get a crown. But you know what now, Tony?
I picked Dallas in the finals.
No, you said they're gonna choke because of Jay.
I said they're going to choke in the finals.
The Stars are going to get it done.
The finals, but they'll lose. That's what I think. I think Florida's going to win it again.
I think Dallas Stars going to win all.
I'm picking the Knicks now.
Hey, Jay.
Go Knicks!
Hey,
go Knicks!
The way most of your picks win, I'm happy that you're picking the Knicks.
I'm happy you're picking the Knicks.
I'd rather you pick the Knicks.
I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 5, Tony. Tony, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 5, Tony. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 5. Can you guess what that number is right now?
Hey, Juan Sanchez was on our show yesterday. He was predicting Boston in 9.
What a time to be alive.
Okay, guys, let's do a little baseball. Real quick on the standings, we got the Yankees winning their division right now, 27-19. Tigers, the best records in baseball right now, 31-17. Yep, they got some good pitching. The Mariners are ahead in their division, 27-19. And just to update on the Astros, they are 25-22.
Yeah.
Here's
the thing real quick. You know, it doesn't surprise me that Detroit is doing as well as Detroit's doing. You know, AJ Hinch caught a lot of flack for everything that went down in Houston. Okay, he caught the flag. But he really is a damn good manager. I was, that's one of the things that really hurt. It hurt because we lost Hinch, and I liked Hinch. Hinch was my guy. Like, I know he's a good manager, and he knows how to get the most out of his talent. He really does. And you see it very evidenced in Detroit. You look at Detroit. When he first got to Detroit, they were at the bottom of the rung. I mean, bottom of the rung. And slowly but surely, year after year, they got better and better and better. And he has built that team through talent, evaluation, and development. He has built the Tigers just like he built the Astros when we gave up all those picks and went from bottomless to nothing to being competitive. And he's doing the same thing over again in Detroit. If you look at Detroit, it's the same plan. And that's why I can tell you, I can see Detroit at some point vying for a World Series ring. So under AJ's guidelines, I can see that.
Who knows, man? Maybe it's going to be this year. You never know. They got some good pitching.
They'll get there and lose to Cincinnati.
Boy, somebody's been drinking the Kool-Aid over that place.
Hey, National League, Phillies winning their division right now, 29-18. Cubs 28-20 in their division. The Dodgers are winning their division right now, but they're 29-19, but they've lost 4 or 5 straight. They're struggling. The Reds are 25-24. They've won 5 straight. Atlanta, who got off to a terrible start, is 24-23. And the best division in the West, best division of baseball by far, is the West. And the National League West for the Dodgers and all them teams, man, are definitely
fuck the Dodgers.
Killer. You know what's interesting enough about that? If you look at the Dodgers, they are currently on a 4-game losing streak, and they just got beat by Arizona. They lost the Anaheim series. Matter of fact, Anaheim swept them, and then lost to Arizona right after that sweep. That's number one. Number two, if you look at the Padres got swept by the Mariners, which is interestingly enough. I know that the NL West is the toughest division. There's no doubt about it. You look at that division, hands down. But I think it's interesting, and I think you got to give some credibility to the AL West for what they've done against the NL West, because it's incredible.
Yeah, the Dodgers got a lot of pitching problems right now. They're struggling.
Yeah, they do.
Got a lot of injuries. So we'll see how that turns out.
The Dodgers.
And the Yankees won that series with the Mets, and we swept Cleveland in our series. So we swept Cleveland.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
It was good to get Cleveland
Yeah,
after.
we go to a game. We went to the game last Wednesday. They lost, and now they won the next 5 games.
Maybe
That's okay.
Maybe we gotta go back down there so
we go game and they go win 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 15 straight. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I always hate when I go to watch my team and they lose, because I feel like I paid for a loss, and it just never feels good when they lose and you paid money and they lose. I always feel better when I pay money and they win. You always leave there feeling good when you're in the parking lot going home and not busting blood vessels in the car because you're cursing your team out.
I'll tell you what, man, it was good to see the Reds pick it back up after we all went down there last week.
Our pitching is real good, and if we can, we got a couple players back in the lineup. We're going to get Green. Green's been on the disabled list. Our pitcher, he's going to be back, I think, Friday. Going to start. We got Hayes back. Hayes is starting to hit the ball again. We were winning, playing really well when Hayes went out, and that really hurt us. He's kind of our.
We have two pitchers that, if they keep up what they're doing, are going to be up for the Cy Young for National League.
Yeah, Abbott's one.
Abbott has his ERA is 1
something,
and Green's not too, and Green's not too much.
If Rose comes back,
and Green's
he's back. Maybe Rose is back.
And Green was pitching real good going before he got had to sit out a few days. So.
I'll tell you what was cool, Jay. When we went to that game, they were showing in between innings baseball Pete Rose commercials.
Yeah.
The Aquavelva one and the Kool-Aid Man was my 2 favorites.
Yeah, Kool-Aid one was
Kool-Aid. There's all kinds of old commercials that played back in the 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool to see those.
I remember Pete Rose commercials.
Real quick,
I was in that time era.
Yep.
I remember those commercials.
Let's do a little WNBA. We got Big Glenn on here also. So the Indiana Fever took on the Sky and destroyed them by about 35 points. But the big thing was 2.6 million people between 2.6 and 2.8 watched that game, and it peaked at 3.1, and actually got more viewers than what the Yankees and Mets did on Sunday Night Baseball, which I understand because the Yankees suck.
Well, I don't know about that, but we'll continue, Tony.
I'm mad at the Yankees for one reason. Was it a year ago or 2 years ago? We went to the damn Reds Yankees game
2 years ago.
2 years ago, and that piece of shit judge has to take a day off. He probably had to get a steroid shot or something, and couldn't play. Piece of shit. Come on, it was a Sunday.
He played the rest of the series, but didn't play
Yeah.
that game.
Piece of shit.
You got a problem with load management now? All of a sudden,
Yes.
you got a problem with
Yes.
load management?
I've always had a problem with
You
load
got your
management.
money's
Yeah,
worth?
See, Pete Rose didn't take no days off. Hell, Pete Rose play a game and then he'd be at the casino all night long.
yeah.
Yeah,
No shit.
they don't make players like that anymore, Tony. These young whippersnappers, they're not built like that, Tony.
That's true.
You're expecting way too much from them.
I tell you, I watched that Fever game. They looked,
Yeah. They was
they
smoking
looked
their
good,
ass.
man. It was almost like watching the Pacers, all them passes and stuff. And if people don't understand, and I'm glad, don't get me wrong, maybe I wouldn't be as big a fan if she wasn't on the Fever. But if you can't watch her play and be a fan of her and see why she's getting all the everybody's going crazy about her, then you don't like basketball. She's so much better than most.
I will be in the building tonight. So
I don't know. We'll see about the MVP, but I mean, when she's only played maybe 45 games and she's already tied or in second place in the triple doubles in league history. Come on. She's played 45 games and other people played 400 games and they're the ones that got the record or in front of her. And she's only played 45 games and she's already gotten like 9. She's amazing. And, that team's amazing. I think they're going to be definitely a contender to make it to the finals, but whether they win it, whether they don't have enough experience level, but they've got people that's been there before. So
yes,
that is definitely going to help. But also we had Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese get into it, and everybody's went crazy about that, and that's all started the race stuff again.
Started a war between RG3 and Ryan Clark. I think it's funnier than hell.
Oh yeah, yep. But my thing there is Clark.
Oh, Clark was way out of line.
But he's personally attacking him because
Clark was way out of line.
because he's married to a white lady. But then they want to talk about racism. Come on.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even touching that. I will say though that the freaking Fever are going to smoke Atlanta tonight.
I hope so. But
I didn't watch a lot of that game. I saw some highlights, but I think the Fever are going to be contenders for the championship this year. With the moves they made last year to solidify that roster around Clark, moves they made the off season. Now with our 5 starters, all of them are multiple-time WNBA All-Stars, but one, and the one that's not is Caitlin Clark because this is only her second year. So I mean, and we're pretty deep off the bench as well. The Fever are, so they're going to be tough, but. I mean, if you watch Clark shoot like that shot she shoots, and she shoots it all the freaking time where she's fading to the left on a deep 3. Like that.
Yeah.
I seen that.
That's just
like
crazy.
It blew my mind.
She hits that regularly. Like that's
it absolutely blew my mind. But then
like half court out of bounds almost.
But that foul, that was a regular basketball foul. That shouldn't have been a flagrant foul. That was a regular take foul. She was fouling Reese saying, I feel better that you're going to miss one of these 2 free throws, than just to give you a regular layup. Because if you saw the whole replay and not just the clip that's on half the internet sites, Reese pushes Boston in the back.
Yep.
The Caitlin Clark is pointing at it and yelling at the referee. Then she sees that Reese has the ball is wide open, and she goes over it and she goes at the ball. It was just a good hard foul.
You know what I like about Caitlin when it comes to that kind of stuff is the fact that
it shouldn't have been a flagrant or anything, in my opinion. It was just a good hard take foul.
I don't think it should have been a flagrant. I think it was a good hard foul, but I also think she was sending a message.
Oh, she's definitely sending the message.
She stared at her and then she turned her back on her. I think she was sending a message, but again, I don't think it was a flagrant foul.
No,
I don't think it should have been a technical on the other player, the one that got pushed, because she just came over and tried to get break it up. and they gave her a technical. I thought it got blown out of proportion. And since then, now there's big. I guess they're claiming that people were saying racial comments towards Angel Reese. So far, the investigation has turned up nothing so far. I know Clark came out and said that if people did do that stuff, that it needs to be stopped. And
Yeah,
they do need to be banned if somebody did something like that, though.
But so far, nobody has found anything in that investigation.
I mean, let's be honest, guys. A couple of things. Number one, you know that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have had issues. Now, Caitlin Clark has done nothing. She sat there. She took all of it, never said anything, never did anything. Was very classy about how she handled the whole Angel Reese situation. But there have been issues between Reese and her, right? And you fast forward, you get to the game itself. You got Reese who pushes. I can't remember her name, but she pushed that girl about 2 feet. She pushed her 2 feet to the right.
Yep.
And then what do you expect Caitlin Clark to do? Is she just going to let Reese get an easy basket off of a hard push? No. Nobody's going to do that. Yes, you're going to get a hard foul. Of course you're going to get a hard foul. How could you not get a hard foul? I would probably be pissed off if she didn't give a hard foul. Because I think she needed to send a message. And it's not like a flagrant message. It's a message like, hey, look, man, you're not going to push my guy 2 feet to the right. I think I'm just going to give you an easy layup and not say something about it. No, we're going to stand up. We're going to fight you, and this is what we're going to do. And yeah, there's going to be racial slurs. There's going to be this, that, and the other. Because let's be honest, Angel Reese has been a big mouth person since she came into the league. So what do you expect? Is it right? No, but that's just human nature.
You know what I like about Caitlin though, and this is small details I know, is that she gets pissed off and be putting her fists in the freaking benches and shit.
Yeah,
like, that bitch wants to win.
Exactly.
I tell you what it is on that one. I mean, shit.
No, she's competitive.
Yeah.
You definitely she'll talk some shit. She'll talk shit. She'll talk shit to the refs. She'll talk shit to other players. She'll talk some shit. She's not. I mean,
I agree. I hate to have to agree, but it's true. There are a lot of people upset. Ones on ESPN and stuff is mad because it's a white girl getting all the attention. Unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. I mean, if it was let's fast forward whenever the girl's getting ready to come out. Well, she got hurt this year. It's in college. One at USC. Juju. If Juju came out and had the same effect that Caitlin's had, there wouldn't be the criticism and stuff that's going on. And I think Juju's very good. And I think she's going to be a big star. I just hope this injury don't sidetrack that.
Yeah, I was worried about that when Paige Beckers went to that, tore her ACL a couple times, so.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like, ever since Caitlin's come into the league and Angel Reese has come into the league kind of together, and that whole debacle from Angel Reed over to that way, this, that, and all the publicity that came from that, I just think that maybe when that hard foul occurred, regardless of the hard push or not, because obviously the referees are probably going to say that wasn't part of it, but it really should have been. I feel like that hard foul was. Do you think that? I feel like it was them, the referees or whatever, sending a message to both teams almost in a way that, hey, look, we're not going to put up with this. We know this out of the other going on, and so we're going to give you a technical or a flagrant because of that. Do you think that had any influence on that, or do you think that's just the way the refs called it, with no outside interference?
Yeah, Caitlin said she didn't understand it. Said she seen the video back. She said she didn't understand what they seen was flagrant there. But they're the refs. They're the one that seen it. They called it, so she accepts it. But she said there was no intent there of any kind. She was doing a hard foul. So anybody that follows basketball, knows basketball, that's a type of foul you're going to do, so they don't get a layup. Put them through some basketball play.
Somebody on, I think it was WNBA Twitter and stuff, had said, I think at the early part of last year, that Diana Taurasi's legacy will live on through Caitlin Clark because the way she was with the refs and stuff. I fully see it too. So,
Glenn, I want to ask you a question because you watch a lot of women's basketball and college women's basketball. I have not watched probably a tenth of what you've watched. Okay, so I want to get your opinion. What's your opinion of Angel Reese as a basketball player?
She's definitely a good player. She's going to be one of the greats by the time she's done. Great rebounder. This needs to work on her offensive game a little bit more. So
I think she's a great rebounder. I agree
Yes.
with you, but the rest of her game, I don't
Yeah.
see it. I see layup after layup after layup. A lot of the rebounds come off her missed shots, and I don't think she's a great passer. I seen one play where she was out of bounds and she tried to throw it in and hit the damn backboard.
I'll end up on not top 10, obviously.
I mean, Chris, do you think she's a above average player? I don't know that. When I see some of the other players, she's a big girl and she can rebound. Reminds me a little bit of Dennis Rodman, but other than and she's not a defensive player like Dennis Rodman is. So she's not great on her feet. I don't know that she's above average player, and I know I'm probably gonna take some shit for that, but I think what helped made her famous was her interaction with Caitlin Clark and some of her shit talking. I think it's helped make her famous. And don't get me wrong. Hey, if you can market yourself and get you a McDonald's meal or whatever and make money, go for it. I'm all for that for her. But I see a lot of other WNBA players that I think is a lot better than she is. That's just my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't think she's as far as her on court play, I don't think she's a star.
Yeah, she'll be a great rebounder by the time she's done.
That's just my opinion. That's why I asked Glenn, because Glenn's seen a lot more games than me, and you got a lot more. My sample size is very small with her, so maybe I shouldn't have that opinion. But what I've seen so far, I think she's a good player. She's a great rebounder. She's not a very good shooter, and I don't think she's a great defender.
Well, I'll tell you what. I feel like if Angel Reese put more time into her basketball career than she did try to be on Sports Illustrated or self-promotion, she might be able to get there. But she puts a lot of effort into a lot of things that aren't dealing with actually basketball-related stuff. That's what I see a lot of. And when I look at somebody like Caitlin Clark, I feel like Caitlin Clark, she's a quieter person. She doesn't have that big personality. She's strictly there for basketball. Even when I see the little videos I see it with her on Facebook, it's her doing some sort of drill. Like she's doing some sort of basketball drill or something with her hands to improve her dexterity or whatever you want to call it with that little thing where she's trying to catch it. I mean, I see her doing more things to improve her game where I didn't see more self-promotion coming from Angel Reese, to be honest with you.
I got some breaking news here.
Yeah,
it's more local and Caitlin Clark related. So, per Tony Donahue, IndyCar Insider, that there is a strong chance that Caitlin Clark will attend Sunday's Indianapolis 500.
I got.
She's gonna be
Glenn will have a picture with her.
She'll be at the 500.
I'll try to get one tonight, actually, honestly, because I'm down
She'll
there.
be at the 500. Then she'll probably leave the 500 to go to the Pacer game.
Yep. Yeah. Go up there and sweet,
Yeah, because all the Pacers was at the Fever game.
That's pretty cool to see that.
Well, no, after one of the Pacer games last week, because I listened to the post game show on the radio a lot, and he said we got a special guest, and he didn't even.
That's funny. I know.
He didn't even introduce her as Caitlin Clark. He was just calling her Caitlin from downtown.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I know exactly who that is.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as she talked, everybody knew who it was. But yeah, they were. But that goes back to like Jay was talking about. She's not working like what I mean. She was she was not worried about her name. Like hey, he just called her Caitlin from downtown, and she was on there joking around. It was the night the Pacers blew them out. It was that Sunday. It was Mother's Day actually. It was the one that they.
Yep, that's right. Because I just got.
She was talking about how that was the best 2 minutes of basketball, best 2 or 3 minutes of basketball she'd ever seen in her life. When the Pacers closed the second quarter out.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, I've seen some of the interviews she did with David Letterman, and Letterman talked to her, and she said, look, I'm a huge fan of the WNBA. People don't understand that. And all the players that came before me, the black players and stuff, I want them to get all the recognition and the stuff that they deserve and they didn't get. So, I mean, she's a fan of the game, and she's a fan of all the players. And why people, I mean, is she a little cocky? Sure. I don't know if you can be that good as she is and not be a little cocky. But I've never seen her say anything out of the way. I think she says all the right things. and I know her and Halliburton are pretty good friends. So I know they go on double dates together and stuff. So she's a hell of a player. I mean, I'm definitely gonna watch more games. I didn't watch very many. I think I watched 1 or 2 games last year. I watched this first game, and
I'm gonna try to go to a game this year. I wanted to go to
Yeah,
one last
I'd like
year
to go.
and never
I can
made it.
give you a list,
Try
Tony,
to get on
of
this year.
games that I know will be cheap and stuff. So
Yeah, do that. So, well, guys, let's move on and talk a little bit of football. I know Jay wanted to talk a little NFL and about the Olympics and flag football. I think we want to talk a little bit about that and maybe a couple other things. What you guys think about going to have flag football in the Olympics in, I believe, 2028, and I believe that the NFL is okaying for players to play in that, so we can try to win some games. Since in the World Championships and stuff, we got embarrassed in flag football. So I think I don't know if this is official, but I did see some things where they're talking about maybe letting one player per NFL team be allowed to play in the and now in flag football. I think you're going to want really athletic types. So I don't know if you're going to want a 350-pound lineman playing on the team. So it'd probably be more, I mean, guys, quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, defensive backs. I would think them players would be probably the more ones that they would look at. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. But Jay, what do you think about this?
Yeah, it's interesting. So if I understand you correctly, you're saying like all 32 NFL teams will donate one player to this Olympic squad.
I think they would be allowed to no
Oh,
more than one
they're
player per
allowed.
team. Yeah,
Okay.
I think no more than one player per team. You can't go and say, okay, well, we want from Kansas City, we want them 2 real fast receivers, and we want the quarterback,
Right.
and so it's
But
only one
basically,
player per team is allowed.
the flag football team itself is going to be comprised of NFL players, one from whatever team that wants to give up a player, basically.
Yes,
Okay.
and they want to play. I mean, the players are going to want to.
Right.
Players are going to want to play and try to go get a medal. And I mean, you got something to gain in getting a medal, but man, you got a lot to lose if you go overseas and play in the Olympics and get your ass kicked. That's not going to look too good.
Well, I will tell you this right now. I can assure you Dak Prescott will not be playing because
Well,
that dude moves left and moves right with any sort of physicality to it, and he's going down with it.
well,
We're not going to allow him to play.
Jerry Jones was the biggest advocate of making sure that NFL players were allowed to play in the Olympics.
Well, damn. I guess Dak's playing.
I don't know about that. I don't know if he's good enough to make the team.
No, seriously. What do I think about it? I think it's good. I mean, clearly, like you said a minute ago, Japan kicked our butts. Every team out there has kicked our butts. We can't even win one game. And this is one of America's sports that we founded, and we can't win a game. It's embarrassing. So I guess we got to put our damn NFL players out there. Maybe they'll right the ship, or maybe they'll load manage. I don't know. I do think would be consistent of, like you said, DBs, wide receivers, quarterback, obviously. And then I think probably your linebackers would be your offensive line or defensive line. I don't think you're going to have the 340-pound guys. You're probably going to have more your linebacker types out there, probably hiking the ball or whatever.
Chris, do you know how many players play on a team or anything? Yeah, I don't. See, I don't know what it consists of.
I think it's like like a quarterback, two or three receivers, and like a lineman. Okay. Something like.
Oh, so you want to give it like one lineman?
I think there's only one lineman.
Probably the person that hikes the ball,
I
maybe?
think it might be like 7. It might be like 7 on 7.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, and again, that's something I didn't know. I guess in my mind I was thinking 11 on 11 like regular football, but I guess football.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's probably between 5 and 7. It's going to be my guess. And I think Chris is right, probably 7.
Well, I'm reading on here. They're voting on it either today or tomorrow. But,
Okay.
It said that some of the excuse me, damn it. Some of the rules that they were wanting to establish. What do you think?
I don't know.
It sounds like you got COPD. I feel like I put oxygen on your butt.
Kind of like that guy from The Simpsons.
Says there's
Man,
permission for any player under NFL contract to participate in tryouts. A limit of one player per NFL team on each national team. Because players that are from other countries can play on
the other teams. Yeah,
yes, can play on their
basketball
national team.
Do we have a lot of foreign players in the NFL? I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know. I've never thought about it.
And then
I never really thought about that either, to be honest with you.
Probably
I
more
do
than
know
I think.
there's a few names in the NFL. I guarantee you they have their roots back to Africa, because some of them names, Ukabale, or I think there's one for the Dallas Cowboys, Ukabele, or however you say his name.
Mason
That's
Pierre
definitely
Paul.
an African name. He's Nigerian or
I think a
something.
lot of them got a lot of roots to Africa.
Yeah.
Well, I mean like direct roots, not like born in the U.S., but you're yeah.
If
I
I'm
know
sending
what you
lineman, I'm
I
sending
know what you mean. I'm
Olufemi.
just giving you shit.
No, but I can see how you can say it the other way too. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, they all do kind of, I guess, have roots. Back to the motherland.
So as far as my thoughts on that, I honestly think if we need to be seeing what 40 time that Jerry Rice and Michael Irvin can run, because if they can still go as far as catching the ball and going downfield, man, I'm sending those guys.
Michael just take a bump. He'll be ready to play, man.
Have you seen Michael look old as hell?
Hey, I think he can still do it. If he can do a 4.2 40 or 4.4 40,
I don't think he's doing no 4.40, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think. I tell you what,
dude.
if you want to get an old wide receiver that's good with hands, you might as well go get T.O. or Ocho Cinco.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea either.
I think it's a good move by the NFL to allow the players to play, because flag football is a growing sport, and I think that's how if they're trying to grow the game in these other countries. You see them by doing these games in other regular season games in other countries, and a lot of these other countries, football is an expensive sport. This is the way that these other countries kids can play football that's cheap.
Yep.
You don't have to have pads. You don't have to have the helmet. You know what I mean? So I think this is a better way for them to expand in other countries. And I think by the players playing in the Olympics, I agree with what McAfee was saying earlier. It's exposure, because there's going to be people that will watch that flag football that maybe never have seen the NFL, and then they might become a fan of one of these NFL players that are playing. And now they're watching NFL in the wintertime.
Another thing, the Olympics, if you bring in the flag football, some people may watch it, but if you got stars playing, there's going to be a lot of eyes on it. Period. Just for the Olympics, just because, and that's a perfect example. They didn't have Caitlin Clark playing the Olympics. They should have, because there were empty seats there at those venues. If Caitlin Clark would have played, them venues would have been full, and more people would have watched.
Oh, for sure, no doubt.
And there's a lot of people that watch the Olympics that don't watch sports regularly. Like there's a lot of people that's the only sports they really watch is every 4 years when the Summer Olympics on, they'll watch all the Olympic stuff, but they don't watch a whole lot of other sports. So you're getting them eyeballs on you, and a chance to get them to start tuning in.
Well, the Olympics, I mean, I love watching all the Olympics. I watch the swimming, but I don't watch swimming during the normal year. I only watch the Olympics. Now I will watch gymnastics. And now track and field, if I find track and field on TV, I will watch track and field during the regular, summer track and field, but I don't find it very often because it's not on that much. But I watch all the Olympics, winter and summer, more summer than winter. But I love the Olympics. It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, and I also feel like, it goes down to 28. If it takes off, if the football players and stuff, we do well, whatever, put it in the Olympics, could that be another way? Because we're already doing games now, a lot of games actually overseas, some in Brazil, some of them in Europe and different places. True. Would this just be another avenue to grow football to be in a bigger sport than what it currently is? Like, is that another avenue, right?
Yes,
that's the benefit I see of it.
And and also for the Olympics, are having women's flag football as well.
You got a shot at that.
Yes. Yeah. And with that, a lot of the high schools in the United States are starting to have varsity women's flag football as a varsity sport for women to play football. So, flag football is a growing sport right now, especially here.
Well, and that's like I just asked Chris. The Olympics are here. Summer Olympics are in the
they're
United
in,
States.
I think L.A.
I think California.
Yeah, that's what I saw was LA. I didn't realize women were playing flag football in high school.
Is it? Yeah, this year, just a lot of places made it or starting to make it a varsity sport.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. That really is. That's interesting to me. I didn't know that was a thing.
And a lot of places are starting to have women's wrestling teams.
Oh yeah, that's
as well.
That's gotten big. I think we should have a flag football game. We should have Frankie and Chris take on Glenn and Jay.
Oh hell yeah!
Me and Frankie win.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Well, Frankie's just fat.
That'd be dangerous.
It would be dangerous. We don't end up in the fucking hospital hurt.
Hey, listen, I'm always down for a good female oily wrestling experience. If they ever want to do that again, that'd be great.
What the fuck did that go? We talking about flag football. We were talking about no oral wrestling. What you and Frankie do?
No, Chris
said oily wrestling or something like that.
Yeah, Chris said that they have female wrestling now. I said I wouldn't mind seeing oily female wrestling.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I don't know about all that, but
I was like, yeah, we picking in the Vince McMahon's mind from the early 2000s when it's stuff, I mean,
hey, listen, if Triple H wants to do some WWE with some oil out there, which that's something I haven't seen yet. I have seen a lot of things in this WWE and AEW stuff. I have yet to see any of these female wrestlers come out with some oil.
They did it back in the day with Vince McMahon. They did mud wrestling. They did oil. Yeah, they did all that shit back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, they need to bring that back. Triple H, I hope you're listening. Bring that back.
They can't do some of that shit they used to do back in the day.
They was on pay-per-view. They was on pay-per-view.
Not at all.
That one chick just took her damn top off.
Cat. Yep.
Just took her damn top off.
That's a way to get ratings up.
Now it's on pay-per-view, man. So yeah.
Oh, you know that's pay-per-view. Yeah, you ain't getting that for free.
Yeah, hell no. That'll be equivalent.
I love everybody on the ESPN. I love everybody on the ESPN last series picked the Cavs to win, and now they're all picking the Knicks to win.
Oh, and pick Milwaukee too.
Let them.
They're gonna be like 60-0 on their picks by the end of the playoffs.
That's fine.
I swear. If I ever find that Rodney Dangerfield t-shirt that I saw that says I get no respect, I'm going to tell that shit straight to you, Gonzo. I get no respect.
Well, guys, you guys ready to get out of here?
Yeah,
yeah, man. We got to get Gonzo back on his oxygen. By the way, kids, what you heard today from Gonzo, don't let that be you. One pack a day is not always the best way to go in life.
Wait a minute. Before we go, hey, Glenn.
Maybe two cigarettes a day.
Go ahead, Gonzo.
What do you think about this shit Jay tried to say the Pacers had it easier than the Knicks?
We just came out and kicked everybody's ass.
I know. They just can't take it. 2 gentlemen sweeps, and we've had it easy.
Well, I think he's upset because let's face it, Butler was hurt and they still couldn't get the job done. Butler was hurt; he was not 100%, and Houston still couldn't get the job done.
They're young. I'm gonna take Jay's sound out.
Go Knicks. Go Knicks.
Go Knicks.
Knicks.